Have you ever wondered how the current situation in Palestine came to be? It's a question that invites us to journey into the past, to explore pivotal moments that have shaped this region. From ancient times to the present day, the land of Palestine has been the stage for countless historical events, each one leaving its mark on the landscape and the people who call it home. Its history is a complex tapestry, woven with threads of conquest, conflict, and hope. Now let's delve into the history of this captivating region. To comprehend today's situation, we must travel back in time to the birth of Palestine. The land we now know as Palestine has been home to diverse civilizations for thousands of years. Its strategic location at the crossroads of Africa, Asia, and Europe made it a coveted prize for empires from the ancient Egyptians to the Romans, Byzantines, and Ottomans. Its rich soil and temperate climate made it a fertile land for agriculture, attracting settlers from far and wide. Over the centuries, it became a melting pot of cultures, religions, and languages. The Canaanites, Philistines, Israelites, and later the Arabs all left their mark on this land, shaping its culture and identity. Under the rule of the Ottoman Empire, Palestine enjoyed a period of relative peace and stability. However, the collapse of the Ottoman Empire after World War I marked a turning point in its history. The land was placed under British mandate, setting the stage for a new chapter in the story of Palestine. Many factors have shaped the course of Palestine's history, from the migrations of peoples and the rise and fall of empires, to the spread of religions and the march of modern nationalism. Each of these elements has left an indelible imprint on the land and its people. However, the history of Palestine is more than a timeline of wars and empires. It is a story of resilience and survival, of a people who have managed to maintain their identity and culture despite centuries of conquest and change. This rich history set the stage for the events that would drastically change the region in the 20th century. As we move forward in our journey, we will delve into these transformative events and their lasting impacts on the land of Palestine and its people. The landscape of Palestine began to change significantly with the arrival of Israel. This pivotal moment in history was marked by political maneuvering, international declarations, and a shifting demographic landscape that would forever alter the region. The story of modern Israel begins with the Balfour Declaration, a statement issued by the British government in November of 1917. This declaration expressed Britain's support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. The implications of this statement were profound as it signaled international endorsement for the Zionist movement and set the stage for the future establishment of Israel. Following the Balfour Declaration, the British mandate for Palestine was established by the League of Nations in 1922. The mandate gave Britain administrative control over Palestine with the understanding that they would oversee the establishment of the Jewish homeland as stated in the Balfour Declaration. During this period, Jewish immigration to Palestine increased significantly, leading to a shift in the region's demographic balance. The culmination of these developments came with the United Nations Partition Plan of 1947. This plan proposed the division of Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem under international administration. The plan was approved by the UN General Assembly despite strong opposition from Arab countries and the Palestinian population. This approval led to the declaration of the State of Israel in 1948, a move that was quickly recognized by many nations, including the United States. However, the establishment of Israel was met with resistance from neighboring Arab states, leading to the outbreak of the Arab-Israeli War. This was the beginning of a new era for both Palestine and Israel. The arrival of Israel signaled the start of a series of conflicts and struggles that continue to shape the region today. As we delve deeper into the history, we will explore the wars that ensued and their impact on both Palestine and Israel. The creation of Israel was not without conflict, leading to a series of wars that shaped the region. The aftermath of Israel's birth in 1948 triggered the first of these conflicts, the Arab-Israeli War. This was a significant turning point in the history of Palestine, as it marked the beginning of a protracted struggle for land and identity. The Arab nations surrounding Israel, including Egypt, Jordan, Iraq, and Syria, viewed the establishment of a Jewish state as a direct threat. This led to an armed conflict that lasted nearly a year. The war ended with a series of armistice agreements, but the borders were left unsettled and the Palestinian issue unresolved. This war resulted in a significant loss of land for the Palestinians and the displacement of a large number of people from their homes. Fast forward to June 1967, a war known as the Six-Day War erupted. This was a swift and decisive victory for Israel against the combined forces of Egypt, Jordan, and Syria. Israel's victory resulted in the occupation of the West Bank, Gaza Strip, Sinai Peninsula, and the Golan Heights. The aftermath of this war led to further displacement of Palestinians and a significant shift in the balance of power in the region. The Yom Kippur War of 1973, also known as the October War, was another significant conflict. Egypt and Syria launched a surprise attack on Israel on the holiest day in the Jewish calendar, Yom Kippur. While Israel ultimately repelled the attack, the war marked a psychological victory for the Arabs and led to significant political changes in the region. These wars not only changed the borders of the region, but also the lives of the people living there. The displacement of Palestinians created a refugee crisis that persists to this day. The wars have left deep scars on the psyche of the people and have shaped the political landscape of the Middle East. The quest for peace continues, but the memories of these wars serve as a stark reminder of the complexities of this conflict. Fast forward to today, the situation in Palestine continues to be complex and fraught with tension. The Israeli occupation, now in its 7th decade, persists, with settlements expanding into what was once Palestinian land. This expansion, contrary to international law, has led to displacement and hardship for many Palestinians, often resulting in clashes and violence. Jerusalem, the city sacred to Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike, remains at the heart of this conflict. The city's status has been a point of contention for years, with both Israelis and Palestinians claiming it as their capital. The city's rich and tumultuous history echoes in its streets as the struggle for control continues to unfold. The humanitarian situation in Palestine is, to say the least, distressing. The blockade on Gaza, the economic instability, and the lack of access to basic resources such as clean water and medical care paint a grim picture. The people of Palestine live under a constant state of uncertainty and fear, their lives disrupted by frequent outbreaks of violence. Moreover, social media platforms have been awash with posts that highlight the tensions and division at American universities during the Israel-Gaza war. These posts, often made anonymously, reflect the global impact of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, showing how it reaches far beyond the borders of the Middle East. In the midst of all this, there are countless stories of resilience and hope. Palestinians, despite the numerous challenges they face, continue to strive for justice, dignity, and the right to self-determination. They continue to dream of a future where they can live in peace on their own land. Yet the road to this future is fraught with obstacles. The ongoing Israeli occupation, the expansion of settlements, the contentious status of Jerusalem, and the dire humanitarian situation all present significant challenges to the realization of the Palestinian dream. This is the reality that the people of Palestine face every day. In this globalized world, the situation in Palestine has not been without international involvement, most notably from the USA. The role that the United States has played in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is multifaceted and has evolved over the decades. Historically, the USA has been a key player in the diplomatic arena, mediating peace processes and negotiations between Israel and Palestine. From the Camp David Accords in the late 70s to the more recent failed attempts at brokering a two-state solution, American diplomacy has been at the forefront of peace initiatives. Yet these efforts have often been criticized for perceived biases and for failure to bring about a lasting resolution. The USA's military aid to Israel has also been a significant factor in the conflict. Since the mid-20th century, billions of dollars have been provided in military assistance, making Israel one of the largest recipients of American foreign aid. This support has enabled Israel to maintain a technological edge over its adversaries and has undeniably influenced the balance of power in the region. The stance that the USA takes on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is also crucial. Over the years, it has largely supported Israel's right to self-defense while criticizing Palestinian acts of resistance. However, this position has been met with increasing criticism, both domestically and internationally, for its perceived disregard for Palestinian rights and sovereignty. In recent years, there has been a shift in the discourse, with more voices within the USA advocating for a more balanced approach to the conflict. Yet the question remains as to how this will translate into policy changes and what impact it will have on the ground. The involvement of the USA has undeniably shaped the course of the conflict. As we move forward, it is crucial to consider the role the USA will play in shaping the future of Palestine and Israel. What does the future hold for Palestine? While we cannot predict with certainty, we can analyze possible scenarios. As we peer into the looking glass of the future, the landscape of Palestine is shaped by the actions of today. The current trends and international relations provide us with a framework to anticipate possible scenarios. The first scenario, and perhaps the most hopeful, is the realization of a two-state solution. This has been the goal of many peace negotiations and international mediators. It envisions an independent Palestine coexisting peacefully beside Israel, each respecting the other's right to exist. However, the road towards this goal has been treacherous and full of obstacles, and it requires a significant shift in policies and attitudes from both sides. The second scenario could be a continuation of the status quo, where the conflict persists and the Palestinian territories remain under Israeli control. This scenario, unfortunately, is a reality that has been lived by Palestinians for decades with no clear end in sight. It implies a future marked by continued tension, sporadic violence, and the ongoing struggle for Palestinian self-determination. The third scenario is a single binational state where Palestinians and Israelis live together under equal rights and representation. This idea has been gaining traction among some circles, but it is also fraught with complexities, given the deep-seated historical grievances and the differences in national aspirations. In any of these scenarios, the role of the USA and indeed the international community is pivotal. Their influence and involvement can sway the course of events and shape the future of Palestine. Will they continue to support Israel unconditionally, or will they push for a more balanced approach that acknowledges the rights and aspirations of the Palestinian people? The future is a puzzle, its pieces constantly shifting, influenced by the actions we take and the decisions we make today. It's an intricate blend of hope, uncertainty, and resilience. Whatever the future holds, the hope for peace and justice remains. The people of Palestine, like all people, deserve to live in dignity and freedom, and it is this hope that fuels the ongoing struggle and the search for a just resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. We have journeyed through the history of Palestine, from its ancient roots to the current situation. We started by delving into the deep-rooted history of this land, rich with cultural and religious significance. The arrival of Israel marked a significant shift, leading to a series of conflicts that have shaped the region's destiny. The wars and their impact have been profound, affecting not just the social and political fabric of Palestine, but also its physical landscape and the lives of its people. We've seen how these conflicts have been marked by severe consequences, including the displacement of countless individuals and allegations of war crimes. In the current situation, we see a land and its people grappling with the ongoing strife and its far-reaching effects. The daily life in Palestine is marked by uncertainty and struggle, yet it is also marked by resilience and a steadfast hope for a better future. The role of the USA has been pivotal, influencing the course of events in myriad ways. From diplomatic interventions to military support, the USA's involvement has had significant implications for the region. Looking ahead, the future of Palestine is shrouded with uncertainty. Predictions range from hopeful peace negotiations to fears of escalating tensions. Yet it is clear that the future of Palestine, like its past, will be deeply intertwined with the actions of local and global powers. As we reflect on the past, present, and possible future of Palestine, let us remember the importance of understanding history in shaping our perspectives and actions. History is not just a record of past events, but a guide that can help us navigate the complexities of the present and the uncertainties of the future. It is through this prism that we can better understand the narrative of Palestine, and perhaps play a role in shaping its future narrative.